Donald Trump faced a monumental setback on Friday when a federal appeals court decisively ruled that he exceeded his presidential authority by imposing sweeping tariffs on nearly every country worldwide. This ruling marks the most significant legal challenge yet to Trump's controversial tariff policies, which have sparked intense debate and economic turmoil since their announcement. In a 7-4 decision, the Washington, D.C. Appeals Court clarified that although U.S. law grants the president considerable power to take action during a declared national emergency, this authority does not extend to imposing tariffs or taxes. This distinction is crucial because it challenges the very foundation of Trump's tariff strategy, which he justified under emergency powers. What does this mean for the future of these tariffs? The ultimate verdict on their legality is likely to be decided by the U.S. Supreme Court, setting the stage for a high-stakes legal battle that could reshape American trade policy for years to come. So, which tariffs did the court specifically target? The ruling focused on the tariffs Trump introduced on April 2nd, a date he dubbed Liberation Day. These tariffs imposed a baseline 10% tax on imports from almost all U.S. trading partners, with additional reciprocal tariffs aimed at countries Trump accused of unfair trade practices. For example, Lesotho, a small nation in southern Africa with a population of just 2.3 million, was hit with a staggering 50% tariff, severely impacting its garment industry. In a move that raised eyebrows worldwide, Trump also slapped a 10% tariff on a group of uninhabited islands in Antarctica, home only to penguins. The court invalidated all these tariffs, describing the president's actions as unbounded in scope, amount, and duration. The judges emphasized that the tariffs represented an overreach, exceeding the explicit limits set by the law Trump's administration cited to justify them. Typically, tariffs require congressional approval. However, Trump claimed he had the authority to impose these tariffs under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, IEEPA, a law that allows the president to regulate international transactions during a national emergency. The court, however, was skeptical, stating, "It seems unlikely that Congress intended, in enacting IEEPA, to depart from its past practice and grant the president unlimited authority to impose tariffs." Earlier, in February, Trump had used the same law to impose tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China. Does this ruling mean the tariffs are immediately gone? Not quite. While the court upheld a previous May decision by a federal trade court in New York that declared Trump's tariffs illegal, it struck down the part of that ruling which would have ended the tariffs right away. Instead, the new ruling delays the effect until October 14, giving the Trump administration time to appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court, which will have the final say on whether the president can unilaterally alter U.S. trade policy. What are the broader implications for Trump's trade agenda? The government warns that if the tariffs are ultimately struck down, it may have to refund billions of dollars collected in import taxes, dealing a significant financial blow to the U.S. Treasury. By July, tariff revenues had reached $159 billion, more than double the amount collected by the same time last year. The Justice Department cautioned that revoking these tariffs could lead to financial ruin for the country. Moreover, this ruling could severely limit Trump's ability to impose tariffs in the future. While alternative laws exist that allow the president to enact tariffs, they come with stricter limits on how quickly and severely tariffs can be applied. For instance, the Trade Act of 1974 permits tariffs to address trade deficits, but caps them at 15% and limits their duration to 150 days for countries with which the U.S. has significant trade imbalances. How has Trump reacted to this setback? Unsurprisingly, he expressed strong dissatisfaction. On Friday evening, he reposted numerous social media messages criticizing the court's decision. On his own platform, he labeled the ruling as the work of a highly partisan appeals court, a familiar refrain whenever judicial decisions go against him. Trump warned, if these tariffs ever went away, it would be a total disaster for the country, adding, if allowed to stand, this decision would literally destroy the United States of America. He maintained that tariffs are the best tool to protect American workers, despite the fact that the economic burden of tariffs typically falls on everyday consumers. His tariff policies have caused widespread economic and political uncertainty globally and have fueled concerns about rising inflation. But here's where it gets controversial. Are tariffs truly the best way to protect domestic jobs, or do they end up hurting the very people they're meant to help? Many economists argue that tariffs often backfire, leading to higher prices for consumers and strained international relations. What do you think? Are Trump's tariffs a necessary defense of American industry, or an overreach that disrupts global trade and harms the economy? Share your thoughts and join the conversation below.